What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a game reaction to discuss between the Chicago Bulls and New Orleans Pelicans, and all the way through a very disappointing game for the Chicago Bulls. It was close and competitive throughout the whole game, but a fourth quarter surge from the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Bulls' defensive woes continue to struggle in every sense of the word as we lost a very winnable game away from home, a trap game against the New Orleans Pelicans. And yes, we did get outplayed and we lost very significantly. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls game today, your player of the game, your overall thoughts and opinions on how the Bulls did and what this means for our seedings. It's a very frustrating game to watch considering the circumstances that has happened around the league today as well. We lost the game 126 to 109, and again, I don't want to repeat myself. I don't want to repeat the problems that the Chicago Bulls have, but this is a game reaction, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really know what else to do if I'm not going to be ranting or discussing what the Chicago Bulls did wrong today. It's a very, very, very upsetting sequence for the Chicago Bulls, let's be honest. The fact that we came out west in what many people might say was a trap game, a game that the Chicago Bulls could definitely fall into. The new-look New Orleans Pelicans team, even without Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, Javonte Graham, Jonas Valanciunas, a very great team overall over there, and we fell right into that trap. We played, I guess, loose at times. We played not really with a sense of urgency at times. We saw a couple of lazy defensive displays at times, and then the fourth quarter just had icing on the cake for the Pelicans. Our defense was pretty subpar, to be honest, in this game, and I don't really know what else to say about the Chicago Bulls. I don't really know how else I have to say. The same issues are still arising and problems and changes need to be made. There's just some simple things, ladies and gentlemen, that we're not doing correctly. We're not doing greatly at all, and it's frustrating. And again, you're starting to see the frustration turn onto the players as well. A bunch of these Bulls players are frustrated. You saw it at the end of the game where we're pretty much getting blown out at that point, and at the end of the day, someone got ejected from the game. Tristan Thompson, again, it always seems to be him that actually has a word to say and actually is willing to throw his words around, and he got ejected for that at the end of the day. But frustration's beginning to be shown for the Chicago Bulls. Now, obviously, many people will come to the defense of the Bulls and say that we didn't have DeMar DeRozan, and I can understand where people are coming from. DeMar DeRozan is obviously our best player. Without him, we do not function well as a team in its entirety, but DeMar DeRozan has been struggling, and he's out for this game, and the Bulls have to find other players to step up in the absence of DeMar DeRozan. Now, I've got to be honest, outside of Coby White and Zach LaVine, where is the step up for the Chicago Bulls? Who on that team can you name that can solely 100% in your heart say they stepped up to the plate tonight in the absence of DeMar DeRozan? Name me a guy outside of Coby White, because I thought Coby White was very good offensively today, and he deserves a lot of respect for that game that he had. He seems to always play well against the Pelicans, but at the end of the day, who else was there? There's so many people that contributed on the New Orleans Pelicans team. Even if they didn't score, they defended very well. Their rebounding was great, and we could not have an answer for that in this game. So, yes, Zach LaVine had a great game. Zach LaVine was fantastic. Coby White was really, really good as well. Really good playmaking, really good shot taking. But there's too many passengers on this team. What we saw at the beginning of the season, where we saw multiple players step up in people's absences, we're not seeing now. We're not seeing people step up to the plate. We're not seeing people take pride in their game. We're not seeing people take urgency and take it with themselves. Be that aggressive guy that we need them to be. Not many people are doing that in today's game. So unfortunately, it's a very bad loss for the Chicago Bulls. And it's a bad loss because we recently beat the Toronto Raptors. We beat the Toronto Raptors to extend our winning ways over them and to, again, take us a little bit over in terms of the Eastern Conference and the seeds. Recently, we had a game between the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's a match made in heaven if you're the Chicago Bulls, because whoever wins or loses that game, it will benefit the Chicago Bulls if we win this game. You see the Raptors beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, a game that we're going to have to beat Cleveland next if we're going to have any sort of respect on this week. We're going to have to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, but they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it gives us an opportunity to walk right in there, beat the Pelicans, show a little bit of pride in our performances, and at the end of the day, we extend our winning ways over Cleveland as well. We extend our games ahead of them. We don't do that. Raptors beat Cleveland. All of a sudden, the only thing that really happens is Raptors come closer to both Cleveland and the Chicago Bulls. How does that make Bulls fans feel around the world? Because I'm telling you now, it's getting worrying at this point in time. We knew this is going to be a trap game. I said it yesterday. I've said it multiple times. This Pelicans team is not a joke, and if you treat them like a joke, they will make you pay. Now, I don't think we treated them as a joke, but they made us pay big time because we could not get defensive stops. So things have to change. But again, I'm sick and tired of talking about those changes. It's time for them to actually do it. Because if I'm going to keep on talking about it, there's clearly something that the Bulls are not doing on the training courts that allow them to actually play some defense in this game. Playing defense once every 5 games is not going to be good enough for your team. You see Io telling Zach LaVine to play defense. That's a rookie telling a guy that's probably going to get a max contract next year to play some defense. How is that happening if you're supposed to be a winning Chicago Bulls team? It should not be happening. It's as simple as that. So, look, again, frustrations all the way around if you're a Bulls fan. And again, we kind of saw this game coming. It's mission failed for the Chicago Bulls. I challenged them to win 3 out of their next 4 games. They've lost 2 now. They've only won 1. Cleveland will make it a respectable week, at least a week where it's a neutral performance. You've had ups and downs. But if we lose to Cleveland as well, my oh my, have the tables really shifted from the start of the season to the end of the season. It's almost a different team I'm looking at right now. And I guess you could say, yes, we don't have DeMar in this game. I understand that. Yes, we don't have Lonzo Ball in this game. I get that. But Lonzo Ball can't fix everything, ladies and gentlemen. Lonzo Ball doesn't walk into this team and every single problem that we've ever had is solved. It will not work like that. Same with Alex Caruso. We thought Alex Caruso returning was going to make this team bright, vibrant, defensively, all of a sudden top 5 best defense in the NBA, and it didn't work out. Same with Patrick Williams. We thought Patrick Williams would return defensively. Oh my goodness, we're a much better defensive team now. And so far, it's not worked out. At the end of the day, that's not the fault of the players. The structure and the team and the defense of already the guys that were here the whole time is not good enough. They're not being raised up to the level that they were at the start of the season. The Bulls defense was good at the first part of the season. Is because everybody was playing defense. It wasn't just Lonzo, Caruso, Patrick Williams that was playing defense. Everybody was playing defense. You got deflections, you got steals, you ran out in transition. Where is that Chicago Bulls team? Because you have most of the guys here and you have most of the capabilities to do that, but we're not doing it anywhere near as much. So yeah, the Chicago Bulls defensively, piss poor, and Lonzo Ball won't fix everything. Does he make us a better defensive team? Yes, but he doesn't fix everything. He doesn't fix Zach LaVine or when DeMar DeRozan returns or Vucevic or the pick and roll defense. He can't fix everything. He's not Superman. He cannot fix everything, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, we have so much work to do, and again, this team really needs to look hard at itself, because I don't think they're giving their best efforts every single night. I don't think they're playing correct defense every single night, and I think some players are having a free ride on this team, and that is not good enough. You saw a bunch of players on this team play today. You saw Troy Brown Jr. and Derrick Jones Jr. play in this game, and I thought Troy Brown Jr. was one of our best defensive players today, but he only played 14 minutes. So the guys that played 32 minutes, guys that played 28 minutes respectively, all the way from 40 to all the way down to 14 minutes, there are a few guys here that was not good enough defensively. And you can bring all the players if you want. You're going to let New Orleans score 126 on you. How do you expect to win these types of games? Look, the must improve is again the whole team. I'm going to keep on saying it. I think this team structurally is not being used correctly. I think the Chicago Bulls team defensively is not giving it its all. And only a select few players are actually trying on that end. And I think the structure of our defense is also very, very poor at the moment. There needs to be changes made, but when do you see those changes happening? We've got 10 games left of our season, I think. I'm not sure how many games exactly, but when do you see these happening? When do you see these solutions happening for the Chicago Bulls? When do you see those problems solved for the Chicago Bulls? As I said before, Lonzo can't fix everything. If we're relying on one guy to come back and make that big impact, make that impact where everything is solved, it's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Lonzo's an amazing player. Lonzo has the potential to be an all-star. Lonzo, even this season, has had all-star caliber games. But at the end of the day, he can't fix every little bit of the issues that we have. These issues are internal. These issues are within our own players and our coaching staff, and they have to fix it alone. One player being out will not fix these issues. Again, it's a 40-point fourth quarter. Just looking at that, I can't believe that happened in the fourth quarter. And you got the Pelicans bench. They were doing the utmost to rub it in for the Chicago Bulls. So again, I hope the Bulls really look at these things. Look at how the Pelicans bench was reacting to every single bucket, every single and one, and all of that nature. I hope the Bulls really look at that, because at the end of the day, they are being made a mockery out of by most teams these days, and most teams are doing that to the Chicago Bulls. But obviously, it's much more noticed with the Pelicans because they were doing the absolute most to make sure the Chicago Bulls knew exactly what was happening in that fourth quarter. So yeah, we have so much work to do, and we need to have some pride. And I don't feel like we have any pride at the moment. So it becomes desperation once again, and we've been desperate the whole time. The player of the game, Zach LaVine. Again, it's kind of hard not to pick Zach LaVine. He had 40 points or 39 points in the game. He took really decent shots, not always, but they went in at times. And he signed with New Balance, and I guess it's one of those games where you have to shine on your first game as, I guess, with a new sponsorship. So he kind of did that in today's game. He took the reins. He took the team under his wing. I want to give a shout out to Kobe White for his offensive performance as well. Stepped up very nicely. But other than that, I don't think many people, maybe Vucevic, but even then, Vucevic didn't really have a great game in the second half. You know, Vucevic only had 2 points in the second half. The center can't make the shots himself, ladies and gentlemen. The center cannot be the one to dribble up the court, ask for a pick and roll, take a step back three, or to go all the way to the basket. He's a center. Players need to make plays for him. 2 points for your center, who's naturally a gifted offensive center, is very, very poor from this Bulls team. But again, there seems to be too many poor performances from this Bulls team. I just want to say, I'll list the guys for you today, because not many people stepped up out of, what, 3 or 4 people. You saw Vucevic had 16. Obviously, LaVine had 39. Those two, I guess you could say, were big contributors in this game. Ayo only had 4 points in the game, and he played 32 minutes. Alex Caruso had 11 points, and for the most part, he was very quiet in this game offensively until the second half of this game, and that's when, obviously, he had foul trouble as well. Javonte Green, 5 points in this game. I think that there needs to be a little bit of element of more. But again, the bench. Look at what this bench was doing. Patrick Williams only had 2 points. Again, he just returned, so I'm not putting all the blame on him in this game. Tristan Thompson only had 4 points. Again, he's a center. He's not going to be creating his own plays. Then you've got, again, Derrick Jones Jr. with 2 points. Troy Brown Jr. with 3 points. That's it. That's it. Our bench consisted of Ayo with 4 points, Patrick Williams with 2 points, Tristan Thompson with 4 points, Troy Brown with 3 points, and Derrick Jones Jr. with 2 points. And then you got guys in the starting lineup like, again, Javonte Green with 5 and Caruso with 11. So it's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing a lot of passages on this team at the moment. Anyway, our Bulls record is 42-31. I don't have too much to say. We remain 5th in the Eastern Conference, I believe still. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting punched in the mouth almost every time that we play. Again, if Cleveland won this game, they would have probably overtaken us in this series. So, yeah. It is what it is. We've got Cleveland next. We have to win that game. But again, every time I say a must-win game happens, we end up bottling it. We end up wasting that opportunity. And again, we beat the Raptors pretty much for nothing at this point. We got the tiebreaker over them. I guess that's a positive. But Toronto right on our tail now. Cleveland right on our tail. Both of them 1 game difference from each other. We continue to lose these games. We continue to waste opportunities. All of a sudden, that play-in is looking really beautiful for the Chicago Bulls right now, because that's where we're going to be. And then we're going to be versing Brooklyn in the first round of that play-in tournament, because I don't think Brooklyn are going to catch up to Cleveland, Raptors, or the Bulls at the moment. So we're going to be versing Brooklyn in the first round. of the play-in if we're not careful, and that will take us all the way down to the 8th seed if we lose that game. So not good enough for the Chicago Bulls. Never has been good enough, probably won't ever be good enough this season. But again, you look at the start of this season, you look at the defensive attitude that this team had, it's not been consistent. Simple as that. It's not been consistent enough, and until things change, we're going to be seeing a lot of poor games from the Chicago Bulls. Time to face facts, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't beat the Pelicans, or you can't limit them, even without Ingram or Zion, they don't have their best team out there either, and you still put 126 points into that game, and defensively you're awful in the game. What do you expect is going to happen? We got winnable games coming up. That's all I can say. And let's just hope, with DeMar DeRozan hopefully returning in the next game, we'll see. Hopefully we could just make an impact on this game. We'll wait and see. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care.